Today we go over new details of Star Wars Episode 9, the final film of the sequel trilogy. This is Mike Zero here. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, as you all know, Episode 9 has already begun principal photography. A lot of things are being done with this movie. J.J. Abrams is directing, and of course, Chris Terrio helped out with the script. Now, you guys may or may not recall, a couple of months ago, we heard light things about Maz Kanata's involvement in Episode 9, the final film of this trilogy. It's going to be a huge task by J.J. Abrams to do it very well and right, and to satisfy a majority of the Star Wars fans around the world. Now, you guys may have heard that Maz Kanata is apparently getting a new ship in Star Wars Episode 9. Now, these past couple of weeks, we're learning a whole lot more about this movie from various different pieces of concept art descriptions and set leaks, etc. One of which has all to do with Maz Kanata and how Daisy Ridley is going to have a scene with Lupita Nyong'o. But what's really interesting is that Maz's ship is actually described as a large space-like pirate ship being developed over at Pinewood. The design of the set piece is described as a space-like pirate ship with large metallic wings that emulate a sail. Maz Kanata's crew is said to be diverse, with a mixture of humans, aliens, and droids. Daisy Ridley is said to have a scene with Lupita Nyong'o, and this is raising a lot of questions on whether or not this could very well be the scene in which Maz explains to Rey exactly how she found the Skywalker lightsaber, or better yet, what if this is a scene in which she gets her lightsaber repaired by either Maz Kanata or maybe somebody on board of this ship? Now, to be quite honest with you guys, I really don't know how I feel about Disney and Lucasfilm approaching a whole space pirate ship thing in Star Wars. I mean, I could see why Disney would do this, because after all, they do own the Pirates of the Caribbean series, so I don't know if they're using that as inspiration and kind of like implementing that into Star Wars, but for me, it sounds a little off. It kind of reminds me of this old anime show, I forgot the name of it, it was Captain something, Captain Harlock or something like that. It was all like space pirate ships, and this is the only thing that I can imagine it as. So, Maz Kanata having a space pirate ship, I'm trying to envision this in my head right now. It kind of fits the character of Maz Kanata, but does it really fit Star Wars is the big question for sure. I really don't know, because it could look totally different when you see this on screen, as opposed to exactly how it's described in the Star Wars franchise. So, I think that this all has to do with Maz Kanata explaining to Rey about the Skywalker lightsaber, or maybe even repairing it. We also know, as we went over not too long ago, that Billy D. Williams, who is indeed portraying Lando Calrissian in this movie, is going to have a very special scene with Lupita Nyong'o, who is portraying Maz Kanata. So both Lando and Maz will share a scene together in Star Wars Episode 9, and the reason why, I believe, has all to do with quite possibly Lando being the one who found Luke's saber and handed it over to Maz to keep it locked away. After all, though this isn't canon, in a little thing called Star Wars, Legos, alright, Lego Star Wars, there's a scene where you do see both Maz and Lando hanging out in her castle. And that, to me, I think was a little light hint of what's to come in Episode 9. And I think that this is all starting to really play out perfectly. Now, I'm hoping that J.J. Abrams is able to accomplish a lot of things with this movie, especially when it comes to the action sequences, the surprise reveals, and maybe, making us look back at the sequel trilogy in a different way. And I just really hope that he really knocks it out of the park. I think everybody hopes for the best, deep down, because we really want to see Star Wars become very, very healthy, especially when it comes to the Star Wars community. And I believe that the first step out of that is to replace Kathleen Kennedy and get somebody else. And I would have to say get somebody else to do the Rian Johnson trilogy, just because I feel like that if they do go forward with Rian's trilogy, a lot of people aren't going to go ahead and see it, and they're going to boycott and then you're going to see a similar pattern of what happened with Solo: A Star Wars Story. But anyways, moving on from that, the Maz Kanata space pirate-esque ship sounds interesting. I just don't know if it belongs in Star Wars, and we'll have to see if it actually does indeed come into fruition for Star Wars Episode 9. And it's funny that we are actually talking about this because we heard about this lightly about 2 months ago about, some concept art descriptions consisting of this, and now apparently they're building the actual set over at Pinewood, and Daisy and Lupita are going to have a scene together. So that tells me that maybe Daisy Ridley goes on this space pirate ship as Rey? I don't know, guys. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.